It's opening day of dove season here in North Texas, but I'm not going to get to go dove hunting today due to some huge rains that we've had in the last couple days, but thank God we needed them terribly. I'll get down to hunt in the next few days. Hopefully I'll be able to take some good footage of the dogs that I'm working with and the pups that I'm working with, but there's rain in the forecast. We'll get it done sooner or later, but there's a few videos that I had on my mind to make, and so this is one of them. This is the one that's on the top of my mind right now, and that is what type of dog makes the best dove retriever, the best dove hunting companion dog? Is it a breed, a specific group of breeds, specific training or trainer, specific bloodlines or champion history, things like that? Training is certainly a big part of it, but in my experience, you can only nurture a dog that has the proper nature to become a great hunting dog. There are certainly a ton of good hunting dogs with the right nature out there that are owned by men and women who either don't hunt or don't know how to handle a hunting dog. And even if that dog gets trained, they're not going to even be able to pick up where the trainer left off. So let's start with qualification number one. Unfortunately, the dog has to have an owner that hunts, knows what he or she is doing, and knows how to foster that relationship and build the partnership on a hunt with a hunting dog. Champion bloodlines may indicate that there's potential there, but I can't tell you the number of times that I hear people talking about champion bloodlines, and when I'm hearing that, I'm usually about to see a dog not hunt. So I'm going to say definitely champion bloodlines do not make a good dove hunting dog. Breed of dog, I think, can really lead us astray when it comes to looking for the ideal dove dog. For example, most any dog with a retriever in its name is certainly going to struggle with the heat in early season dove hunting. Now, I'm not saying that the retriever breeds can't make good dove dogs. I'm just saying that they don't have the same edge in Texas in September that they do in the Chesapeake Bay in December. Furthermore, the size of a lot of these retriever breeds could actually detract from their ability to deal with the heat and have the stamina needed to handle these birds, which are really going to be 3 to 6 ounces in size. I'm not saying that retriever breeds can't make the greatest dove dogs. I'm just saying that having retriever in their name is not going to get them there. I'll say one more thing about the retriever breeds, and back to my first point about the owners, is I've been on many a hunt where every person on that hunt has a retriever breed sitting at home on their couch. So I'm going to have to say that the highest percentage of retriever breeds actually don't have the right owners to become great dove dogs. Let's talk about training as well, which I know is a big deal in the retriever breeds, but I've seen a lot of retriever training that is more about obedience and posturing and other things other than actually hunting. So for this discussion, I think it's safe to say you can check your breed marketing and your training talk at the gate. Dove hunting requires a dog that helps the hunter and his friends and stays out of the way. It can't be a big nuisance. A good dove hunting dog needs to understand dove hunting, how it works, what happens, and it needs to understand shooting. It has to understand we're going to shoot these things out of the air and I'm going to go get them and we're working as a team. That fundamental understanding has to be there, not on command in the dog's brain. The dog has to be able to take commands, no doubt, but the dog's eyes have to be able to follow the gun, see when a bird has been hit, decide whether or not it's been mortally wounded or not, or it's going to go down or not. At the same time, that dog needs to be able to be called off by the handler and hunter. I'll say this, the dove dog has got to be to the point where they can discern between dove and non-game birds and be able to help the hunter look at the sky. So if a hunter is looking this way and about to shoot a bird this way, and then another bird comes from behind him, he should be able to see that dog point that bird behind him. A good dove dog must have good olfactory senses and the mental fortitude to know how to use them on wind scent and ground scent, because both will be needed on a dove hunt. Segue a little bit into temperament. Hunting dogs can't cause a lot of problems. So a good dove dog has got to be able to be around other dogs and not be going around there playing sniff ass when it's time to hunt. Cannot be starting fights with other dogs. Cannot be aggressive towards other people. Really, the dog needs to have a decent temperament for being around people and being in a hunting camp in general. Dove hunting tends to be fast and furious. There's not a lot of time to give a dog every single command that it needs to know to do every single thing. A dog has got to be able to handle simple retrieves on its own while the hunter is acquiring the next target. At the same time, that dog has got to be able to multitask and be able to watch the skies as it's returning with the bird to show the hunter birds coming behind him. So we're talking about a sport where 15 birds may be shot in a half hour to an hour time. So this whole idea of this gentleman's field trial thing and you're sitting there with a whistle standing out there in the open, no, you're likely going to be crouched down in a bunch of sunflower stalks. Your dog's going to be working to get birds that you shot before. There's going to be birds down. There's going to be birds coming in. The shit is hitting the fan. That's my high level on what's needed from a good dove dog. Prove me wrong. Send me some videos. I'd love to see them. I'm going to be posting my own videos as well. Let's talk about the subcomponents, the nature and subcomponents that are needed to actually decide what prospect could actually become a great dove hunting retriever dog. The top of my list is that the dog has got to love the game of fetch. And by that, I mean, I've got to be able to get a game of fetch with a tennis ball, a dummy, I don't care what it is, one item that they like, I don't care what it is, 6 to 9 times in a row, a game of excited retrieving. And there can be issues, victory lap, whatever, but as long as that dog will eagerly go run after something, have some desire to work together with me and bring it back in my area, whatever, we can work through the details. But if I can't get that game of 6 to 9 retrieves going in a row, I am not going to start with that prospect. Under 3, absolutely not. I wouldn't mess with the dog for me. Now I know they have force fetch training. I don't know anything about that, and I don't want to know anything about that really, because I'm looking for a full positive training method that starts with the game of fetch, and then we move it into hunting, understanding the gun, which leads me to my next point, my next big gotcha that I'm out on, gun shyness. Okay, so you can teach gun steadiness, you can condition it, you can work through that, yes, but there is absolutely a science that leads to a genetic sensitivity to sound that I've seen in dogs of all breeds, specifically the breed that I work with, largely with the blue lacies, but I know it can be in Labradors, it can be in any breed of dogs. If I can't get that dog to be cool and ultimately to get excited by feeding them raw meat while I'm shooting a gun, starting with a small caliber, if I cannot get that dog to be gun steady, I am out. I will not work with it. Next big duck out point for me is if the dog is water shy, it's just not going to make a good dove dog. Yes, you could argue you're standing in the field a lot of times, and a lot of times you are, but a lot of times you're hunkered up next to a water hole where the dove are coming to drink in the evening or in the morning. And that's just dove hunting. And so I'm not going to have a dove dog, and I'm certainly not going to consider it great if it will only wade on the side. And I got to still wait for the wind to blow the bird to one side or the other where it gets stuck in the moss. Worse yet, I got to get into that water. No sir, I am out on water shy dogs for dove hunting. Heat tolerance. It's going to come into play. So I don't know. I know I've seen lots of Labradors that could do it. I had a Labrador named Nikki that was just unbelievable dove dog, and I had to manage my water. I keep a bucket of water in the back of my truck. She had to know how to use it. Very important to manage the heat. At the same time, there's got to be a level of cold tolerance, because later in the season, there are going to be waves of dove that come in, and then we actually have a second split of dove season in Texas. It's in the wintertime. So you got to have the heat and the cold tolerance. You can put a jacket on a dog in the winter, but you can't put a jacket on them in the summer. And so the heat tolerance has got to be there. At the same time, I guess the eagerness and the fortitude to freeze the dog's nuts off when it's wintertime and there's a bird in the middle of a pond. Regarding color, I'm just not sure color matters that much, except I wouldn't want a white dove dog. I spend a lot of time managing anything that's flashy, trying to cover my own skin. I'm darker complected, but even, a person with lighter skin is going to want to wear some sort of, camo and a hat to kind of cover where they duck down. And I cover my face and my eyes, the white of my eyes. I think a white dog, I would love to see it, and prove me wrong, but it's got to flare birds. So within these parameters, I would say that most any dog from most any breed or mix of breeds could make a great Dove dog. I'd love to see it. For me, it's all about proof. I don't care what anybody tells me. In fact, the more they're talking and they don't have a video clip of, hey, because if you had a badass dog, wouldn't you want to have a quick video of it? Yeah, I think you would. Like if you have a beautiful wife, a beautiful girlfriend, don't you have her on Facebook, in your arm? Of course you do. If you have a beautiful child, your son wins a football game, you got a photo. So don't give me this. If you've got a good Dove dog, send me a video. I would love to brag on you. I would love to learn from you, and I'm going to be doing the same. So I'm going to be posting up the work I'm doing. Please send me videos. I would love to showcase some good Dove dogs out there. Thank you very much for watching. Like and subscribe for more. There'll be much, much more on this topic coming. Thank you. Good night.